Good morning. I'm Gretza with Fluent Mortgage, and I'm here with Devon from DBJ Inspections. Good morning, Devon.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, good. Tell us a little bit about your companies.
Okay, so I started DBJ Home Inspections in 2014. I came into this industry and I saw a need to kind of do things a little bit differently. A lot of home inspection companies, it's like a side business or it's a single person business, and I wanted to build something that was more customer service based and customer oriented, that did more for the customer, had more options. So I built a bigger business with multiple inspectors. I have fully staffed office so that they're not, if you're calling to book an inspection, you're not talking to somebody who's up in an attic trying to inspect a house. So I have dedicated office staff that's there to take all of your information, answer any of your questions, and then my inspectors are dedicated to inspecting for the client. They're not getting interrupted while they're on inspection, potentially missing something because their head's going in a million different directions.
And that's very important.
Yeah. I also typically, home inspection is not a warranty, not a guarantee on anything. It's only with what we can see on the day that we're there with the conditions of that day. But we work with a third-party warranty company, and we provide a warranty package for all of our customers, which is something that not a lot of people did when we first came in and, when we first started doing this. Some people have started using it now since we've come into things. But it's something that I wanted to do for my customers so that they have a little bit of extra peace of mind after the inspection, in case something happens. So, like, typically a call that we would get, somebody calls us up and they're like, hey, I've been living in my house for about 3 weeks now. When I first moved in, my oven was working, and now it just stopped working. The weird part is, for some reason, they always add on there, how'd you miss that? Which is, really doesn't make any sense. Because it's like, did you hear what you just said? It was working for 3 weeks.
At least
working.
that's an oven. When I moved into my house, about a week later, my water heater just blew.
Yeah, and things like that happen. That's why we wanted to kind of offer more for the customer to give them some protection. So we ignore the part about how did you miss that thing, and it's more goes along the lines of, it's a really good thing that you used us and that you gave us a call because we have this warranty package for you that might be able to help you out. So we direct them to the warranty company and try and help them get some coverage if it's a coverable item. Okay, so on appliances, they get up to $500 for a repair. We have another warranty on their roof, so if they get any roof leaks within 5 years of the inspection, they've actually got up to $3,500 of coverage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We have one on their underground water and sewer lines, stuff that we can't even see, from the house out to the street, that covers up to $4,000 for a repair. So let's say they get a water main break out in the yard, or a sewer main break out in the yard. They've got coverage on that. We have one against mold. So if any visual mold pops up after the inspection, now when I say visual, that means it has to be visual, not that they were doing renovations, they pulled down a wall and it was behind the wall that nobody could see. But if any visible mold pops up after the inspection, they've got $2,000 of coverage. So we've got a lot of things extra that we give to the customer, and we don't charge them anything for that. It comes with all of our full inspections, and it's just extra peace of mind for the customer, and something that we wanted to do to kind of make our industry better as a whole for our customers.
And that's very important. One of the things that I tell my clients is the home inspection is actually optional, but it's the best money that you can spend because it can save you thousands in repairs later. We also have here in Florida, at least, we have the 4-point inspection and the wind mitigation. And we were talking about the changes that they've had in the 4-point inspection.
Yes, so in March, Citizens just out of nowhere released an updated 4-point form and said, okay, we're going to give you a little bit of time because obviously all the software companies have to get the new form into the software and all that stuff. But everybody has to switch over to this. And there was a couple of key changes in the plumbing section. That there was a couple of little changes in other sections, but the key changes that could make an impact were in the plumbing section.
Can you tell us a little bit about those?
So what we're seeing is the first one, not a super big deal, but now they're asking for the age of the water heater. So if they're asking for the age of the water heater, likely at some point they're going at some age cutoff, they're probably going to say, hey, your water heater's too old, you need to replace your water heater.
Okay.
Not a huge deal, but it is a change, and it's something that to be aware of, and something that's different. The main changes are now they're specifically asking about the type and age of the drain piping. So cast iron is now an option on there. Before they were only asking about your supply piping. Cast iron, they may start giving people a hard time about if they have cast iron in the house and wanting the house replumbed on the drain side, which can be a big expense.
Yes, definitely.
So, cast iron up to 1970. Anything before 1970, it's pretty much going to have cast iron. There's a couple of other options, but the most common was cast iron. Between 1970 and 1975, they started to switch over to PVC, so it's, could be either or. Okay. By 75, everything was switched over to PVC.
Okay.
So it just some date ranges to think of for customers out there that, if they know that they've got a house that's pre-1970, okay, they most likely have cast iron. It could become an issue depending on what the insurance companies do. Now, again, I'm not an insurance person, so I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but we're seeing these things. There's a reason for it. Yes. The other really big change on there is that, and let me give you a little background. So PEX is a type of supply plumbing in the house. It pretty much replaced polybutylene, but it's a similar type of piping. It's polyolefin based. It's supposed to be a flexible plastic kind of pipe. It has a lot of issues, and they're seeing that it's having a lot of issues, just like polybutylene did. And there's been some class action lawsuits. Polybutylene was banned in '96. They banned the use of it. This pretty much replaced it, but it's based off the same material. It was having issues with fittings. It's having issues with the pipe. It's not in the manufacturer's notes. It says it's not compatible with chlorine and other certain chemicals. 98% of our water municipalities use chlorine to clean our water. So you've got chlorine going through it, and it gets chlorine degradation. They promote it as being flexible, easy to work with, but it says not to bend it too much because it'll cause stress cracks. We've actually been seeing mold growing inside of it. A lot of the issues, though, are inside the pipe, so we can't really see it. It's hard to tell a customer that if there is some of those issues that are inside the pipe, unless it's really bad to the point where we could see it on the outside. But they're now asking for the age of that PEX on the 4-point, which before they never said anything about. So if they're asking for the age of it, speculating, most likely at a certain age point, they're going to say we don't want to cover this because they can't not cover it completely because it's still allowed to be used. It's coming in pretty much every single new build. So it's just something we want to make customers aware of, especially sellers. Let's say you still have a seller that has polybutylene and they have to replumb the house because the insurance companies won't cover the polybutylene. Don't go to PEX because it's going to be another problem later down the line, most likely. So best, most affordable option would be CPVC if you have a seller that needs to repipe for any reason, whether it's polybutylene or if they have issues with something else. Their best option is going to be CPVC. Stay away from the PEX.
Okay, so how do you think this will affect the buyer?
So right now, like I said, we don't know exactly what they're going to do, what the age cutoff is going to be. It could affect the buyer not being able to get insurance. Let's say the PEX is over 10 years old and they use 10 years as their age range of when they're going to say, no, we don't want to cover it. It could cause issues. It could cause issues with the deal because they can't get insurance.
Exactly.
And sadly, a lot of people that had polys they replaced it with PEX because it was
Yeah.
cheaper and easier to work with.
Yes, yes.
So they may end up having to replace again, sellers that already replaced.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I say that a lot with our buyers and our sellers, and especially buyers, because if you cannot get that insurance, you can't get that loan. So this is very important for everybody to understand, our realtors, our buyers. Also, what do you recommend our sellers do?
So for sellers, most sellers, I mean, when you're in your own house, even me in my own house, I'm not looking up at my ceiling. I'm not going in my attic all the time. So most sellers don't know the condition of their house. They're not plumbers, they're not home inspectors, they're not electricians. We always recommend for sellers to get a pre-listing inspection so that you know the condition of your house. You can go in with full disclosure. You can price the house right if there are issues that you don't want to fix. If you do have some issues and they're smaller issues, you can fix them, show that you put in some effort. Hey, I've got these receipts. We took care of this. We did our due diligence. It could make some buyers feel a whole lot more comfortable. Plus, it puts out certain inspection fires that might come up later that you may never even get a chance to work on with a buyer, because some people tend to think that a seller was trying to hide something from them,
Right.
which is usually not the case. The sellers just don't know.
A lot of times they don't even know that they have this problem.
Exactly, but some buyers will be like, nope, you know what, I don't want the house, they were trying to hide this, and they don't even tell you what it was to even give you a chance to fix it. And plus, like I said, you're already negotiating most of the time before you even go under contract, and then if something comes up, you have to negotiate again. So it puts out, it gets rid of a lot of issues, and can make a deal go smoother, get you more for your house, and just avoid a lot of problems.
Yes, that is something that I always tell my sellers. Hey, if you're going to put your house on the market, and especially for older homes, I like to get a home inspection because I want to know what's wrong with it. Like you said, most sellers don't know what's wrong with their house. They don't know that they have a leak. They don't know that the roof is bad. So a home inspection before they put it on the market, it's highly recommendable. So.
Yeah, and it helps you guys do your job better for them too.
Exactly.
So it's always always a good thing. Full disclosure, you can't get any better than that.
Exactly. So thank you for being with us. Don't forget, sellers and buyers and realtors out there, always full disclosure. It's better to have a home inspection at the beginning, and of course the buyers can have their own inspection too. But this will give the seller more leverage when they're trying to sell their home. So thank you.
And a nice thing, at least with us, if we do a pre-listing inspection for a seller, if a buyer comes in, we'll do a discounted inspection for them. If they want to have their own inspection and if they want to use us, we'll do it discounted, basically charge them the same, whatever they would pay for, like the same price that they would pay for just the insurance inspections that they're going to need anyways. And then they're our customer. We're going to check on everything. We'll update if there was any repairs done, and they'll be our customer. They'll get our warranties, and we kind of go out of our way to help them in that.
And
direction.
that is very important, because people don't realize that you work for whoever hired you. So at the beginning you work for the seller, but if that buyer wants the warranties and everything, they would have to do another inspection.
And they're going to, like I said, they're going to get it for basically the price that they would pay for just the insurance stuff anyways, that they're going to need to be able to get insurance. And we're going to give them all the forms that they need. We're going to recheck the house, and because houses do change. I mean, even in a month's time, conditions in a house can change.
Yes.
So it's always a good idea to get another inspection, whether it's back with us or somebody else.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you very much for being here with us today, and thank you for all the information that you've given us. And I hope that this can help our sellers, our buyers out there, our realtors, to be more informed and be able to make better decisions.
Yes, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks.